I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like a lot of players out there just have an affinity for swinging. It was the thing that drove all of those Spider-Man games that Activision's been putting out for the past several years, and it's the thing that drives Capcom's Bionic Commando. So it's great news that the swinging and navigation in Bionic Commando is pretty awesome once you get the hang of it. But as a navigation-focused action game, you're either going to pick up the swinging skills and really enjoy it, or struggle with the controls and walk away hating it. It can be pretty divisive. Bionic Commando provides the continuing adventures of Nathan "Rad" Spencer, the same guy who appeared in the NES game and Bionic Commando Rearmed. At some point between that game and this one, the government got all scared of Bionic people and started rounding them up. Spencer ends up on death row due to some mission gone wrong, but then a pro-Bionics terrorist group blows up a city and only Rad Spencer could get to the bottom of all this.
We're sending you into the city to scout the area and help us track down those responsible. Like hell you are.
He's released from prison and sent off into combat. From there, the story sort of takes a backseat to the action, but it comes back in a big and decidedly weird way near the end. Bionic Commando is a linear third-person action game. While you'd expect anything that includes guns and says third-person action in it to play like a shooter, BC instead focuses a lot on navigating the world and kind of taking it all in. You'll swing through the torn-up ruins of Ascension City, visit some lush park areas, head underground to fling yourself through caves, and so on. Using the Bionic arm to climb up buildings and swing from point to point takes some time to figure out, but the game starts out slowly and easily enough to give you plenty of time to figure out how to grapple onto objects and swing. There's also a very necessary tutorial near the beginning of the game that'll show you a lot of the different moves you'll unlock as you play. You'll see a handful of fairly standard firearms in Bionic Commando, and they're all kind of underwhelming. It's much more fun and usually a lot easier to use your Bionic arm on enemies. With the little guys, you can just pick them up and toss them at other enemies, or maybe you want to grapple onto them, fling them up to the air, and then, shoot them down while they're still at the end of your arm. You'll eventually get an adrenaline move, too, that swings the arm around and can take out a group of guys instantly. But you'll also fight robots and mechs along the way. These guys require a bit more strategy at best because you want to get them to expose their back, which has a handy weak point on it that you can grapple onto and kick. There are also a few boss fights, including a great one against a helicopter and an epic-looking fight against a giant robotic worm. Overall, the single player will probably take most players around 6 to 8 hours to complete. Once you're done there, you can always hop back in and go through on one of the other two difficulty settings, but the game's online multiplayer is a more interesting alternative. The modes and the layout are pretty standard, allowing up to 8 players to get in on Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, and Capture the Flag games, though the multiplayer still suffers due to the game's kinda weak weapons. There's something almost dogfight-like about it. You'll end up with players flying through the air, swinging around, trying to get behind someone for a clear shot, or just kind of grappling onto each other to keep people from running away. While the game's linear nature is something of a bummer, that's largely because the Bionic arm is so much fun to use. There's a smattering of minor issues that prevent Bionic Commando from being completely amazing, but there are plenty of good things going on here, making it something that you should certainly consider.